Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live. Tonight we have a really fun show for you. We have Fab The Duo. They are a singer-songwriter powerhouse team based in LA. They used to be in New York, but now they had just moved to LA. So I'm really excited to chat with them tonight, learn a little bit about their songwriting process, as well as any upcoming music that they have going on. So thank you guys for joining us this evening. So if you've been tuning into all these episodes, you know that I start each episode with a song lyric. So tonight we're going to share a song lyric from Fab The Duo, and they actually just joined the room. So I'm going to bring them into the room and share the song lyric while they're in the room. So whenever you guys are ready to join, come on in. And if you can just request my live, because I see you guys in here. Okay, there they are. Hi guys!
Hi!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Doing well. Thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. I love the yellow.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're so excited.
Of course. I think yellow is such a bright, vibrant, feel-good color, and I feel like not a lot of people wear yellow.
Yeah, no, I think it's a bold statement to wear yellow. So
we like bold statements and we like bright, vibrant colors. So, and we're in LA now, so I feel like we gotta wear like
bring sunshine into your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. So before you guys popped in the room, I was going to share a song lyric because I start every show with a song lyric. So I'm just going to take it away. Don't stop him. He's different. He's an American icon. Even if you don't know it yet, you're going to get a big surprise when he comes alive. And I think that's such a perfect introduction to you guys, because you guys are American icons and so many people look up to you, and you're just full of life and energy and positivity. So thank you for always sharing that message with us.
Of course. Thank you.
So how young were you when you both got into music?
I think I was pretty much 4 whenever I was involved in music. I'm in a very musical family. My mom's a professional singer, but she's like on the classical side. So I've always been surrounded by music.
Story often of how I started. I started taking guitar lessons at like 10, and when I was 11, I wrote this song. I was like a very political kid, and I guess I still am. I wrote a song called Bush Sucks back when Bush was, which like looking back now is like, you know. That got on the radio actually, and then I entered a battle of the bands, and my 6th grade band won against like actual bands, probably just because like the cuteness factor. We weren't actually good, but we still won, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a rock star. I want to do music forever now.
Plus, I love that you were political at such a young age, because when I think of my childhood, it's like I didn't really know anything about politics. So why were you so involved with politics at like 10, 11 years old?
I don't know. I guess I've always been. I mean, I majored in political science in college.
Yeah.
I guess my parents are also political. My mom's like an environmental activist. Yeah, I guess I've just always had that, and I'm always interested in like how music and art can like have a political message and political change.
Right. And I think that's so important with the current time. Like when we think of 2020 and we think of all these crazy things that have happened just in the past, 9 months or so, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's impossible to be political now. I mean, even things as like mundane as mask wearing now has become political, even though it shouldn't. So many things that shouldn't be political have become political.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, wow, like where were we in February, and look at us in December.
Literally.
Right?
It's crazy to think about January and February of this year, because this literally seems like a different year.
Right. I know. I'm like, are we still in the same year? Like, what's going on? I'm in like this ongoing Twilight Zone like episode. Like I'm just like, when is this gonna end?
Greg
Exactly.
literally just was like, "Oh my God, only 46 days," and I was like, "Wait, till Biden or till end of 2020? Because I don't even know."
I was
And I'm
just
like,
like,
"Wait."
Or the vaccine, right? So you guys met on Tinder while living in New York City. So talk to me about what brought you to New York City originally.
Yeah, I originally moved to New York City from Texas, which is where I'm from. And I moved to New York to do musical theater, and I did that for a second. My very first pianist was your sister. Uh, and hey, Colette. And yeah, and I did what I wanted to do, but I never in a million years ever thought that I would ever be in a band, especially with my boyfriend. Like that was just an idea that is even possible. So yeah, like I came to New York to do musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of knew for a long time that I either was going to move to New York or LA. I feel like for me, at least, were like the two best places for music and entertainment and performing. When I graduated college, most of my contacts and like friends were in New York, and I'm from Vermont, so my family was a lot closer. So New York just seemed to be the place to be at the time. And then now we're in LA, so getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So from when you originally met on Tinder, when did you guys start talking about this band? Like, how did that form?
Like a little less than a year. So like we met on Tinder. We like knew we were both performers, but like I was a singer-songwriter dude. Greg was a very musical theater Broadway guy. And so we sort of like support each other's music, but sort of we're like, all right, we're gonna stay in our lane. We're gonna try not to like, step on each other's toes.
Right.
And after a while, we just decided it'd be fun to do like a little cabaret together. And
the real reason why we did that though is because of the fact that we saw someone else's cabaret and we were not the most impressed by it, and we came home the next day and was like, wow, we could do like that a lot better. Like, they did a good job with what they were doing, but we just felt like we could do something better. And then we started talking about how we would do it better. And then about 2 months later, we came out with our show called You and Me, but Mostly Me. And that literally, honestly, started our performing together for real.
It just went super well. Like everyone loved it. And like people loved our sort of like banter, bicker on stage and our sort of like, competitive, like that kind of stuff. And then we started to do a couple more of those cabarets. We did one in Austin where Greg's from. And then we just started like continuing to do it for a while. Greg was like, I can't sing pop. I'm not a pop singer.
I had full on breakdowns because I was like, not do well in pop. My voice is too big, because I've been getting like, shit for my voice my whole life. Like it's been too big, too much, blah, blah, which is whatever. So like I was having full on mental breakdowns because I was like, I can't put myself in this position willingly.
Yeah.
Every day, which is what it was, because we got a residency at Nomo Soho, which is a hotel in New York, and kept having to do it. And I was like, I don't want to do this. Like I'm like in the back, and then we come out and I do it, and everyone likes it, but it was still like getting over those demons in front of me.
Yeah.
One thing kind of led to another, and then we like got in touch with through like a mutual friend with this like really amazing Grammy-winning producer named Mr. Sonic, and we just like played actually American Icon for him. He's like, gosh, I love it. I've got to produce you guys, and then that's how we started actually coming out with songs and doing the whole thing.
So when did it actually like become a band? Because it sounds like it was kind of like, oh, we could do this cabaret thing so much better than those guys did it. So when did you start actually saying like, whoa, we can actually do something with this, and like we should form this band and just do this full time?
It was about 4 or 5 months into the cabaret, because it was definitely
our first cabaret was like June 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometime we had our first like not cabaret show, I think in November.
Yeah, it was November. November 11th, I think it was. Or 13th.
Yeah, I mean, we originally started out literally just Greg and Brendan. Yeah. And then eventually we like came up with Fab The Duo.
Yeah, and that happened on a whim. It just kind of happened. We were like, it just became one of those things where it's like, okay, we're singing a lot of covers, and I knew he was a songwriter. I was like, do you have any songs that we could do? And it just kind of snowballed
and
into
a lot of the
this.
songs I wrote made way more sense once Greg sang with me. Like, I wrote Our Love Is Resistance before I met Greg, but then once we sang together, like, wait, this makes so much more sense. It's so much more powerful to sing it together. But we didn't release any music for like about a year since we like first started performing.
Yeah.
So are there any other songs in the vault, Brendan, that you have, like, that you wrote that you're like, oh, now it needs to come alive with both of us?
I have a lot of songs in the vault. Greg is a tough critic, though. But also a lot of the songs, like, I write a lot of the songs, and then I show Greg, and he's like, all right, the song itself is good, but it's really boring. Let's, like, completely change it up and do something different with it.
Yeah.
I think some of the songs I wrote way back when are good for Fab. Some of them aren't. But, you know, I'd love to write songs for other people, too, and work with other songwriters. Now we're in LA. I think we're going to do more of that. Yeah. There's more of, like, the songwriting industry.
Yeah, I think you guys are in the perfect place because songwriting, when you think of LA and just the whole music scene there, it's just so different than New York City, right?
New York City, we couldn't escape the musical theater thing, even if we tried.
Yeah.
Right.
All the places we had the most luck performing at were like cabaret musical theater venues. Everyone kept saying we like sounded too theatrical. All our band members were like, you sort of had to be in the musical theater scene if you were a musician, actor, artist in New York.
Yeah.
So this is very different. This is a lot more pop and commercial. So I'm excited.
I am too. Yeah.
In this whole new chapter of your life where you went from New York City, where you guys met, and then I guess walk us through, when did you say, let's do LA? How did that come about?
Literally a month ago. It was a really quick decision. Like, it wasn't like we were holding back or just like suddenly we were moved. Like, literally, it was just first thing, we ended up needing a new roommate in New York, and we knew that the winter was coming, and our lease was also up in December 1st. So both work in the service industry, all this, and we knew that if Corona didn't shut it down, it would definitely be the winter. And so we started thinking about like, okay, so where would we go if we had to go somewhere, because we can't afford this apartment by ourselves.
I mean, we were talking about moving, like, we kept for the past year, we're like, gosh, at some point I feel like we're going to have to move to LA. All these contacts we know are in LA, all the best producers, songwriters. But I think we sort of imagined maybe in like 2022 being bi-coastal or giving LA a try. And then just like all these circumstances came up. They were like, you know what? We should just move now. Like, now is sort of the perfect, we've got nothing to lose. There's like nothing keeping us in New York since everything's closed down. It's about to be a long, cold winter. So might as well, you know, try it out.
Yeah. And hold up in a New York City apartment. How guys dealing with this quarantine where you're like locked in a New York apartment and you can't go out? Like,
I mean, I think the worst part about it, and what I was like really not looking forward to, was just, you know, in New York you don't control your own heat, and so you burn up alive while you're and being stuck inside all day. It's like we're just in an oven all day, and like
we had no natural light. Like, it was like one of those long railroad apartments. So like at the end window, but like in the whole living room area was just dark. So
it was just, it wasn't the most pleasurable.
The Wi-Fi wasn't working well.
Our Wi-Fi was terrible. We had done everything we possibly could. It was just like, okay, we should just go. Like,
you're like, now is the time. The lease is up. I don't want to spend winter in New York because, I mean, everything's locked down all across the country. So why not just go and enjoy some sunshine and get a little bit more space and be right there when everything opens up.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're thinking. Right now we're thinking, you know, I keep saying, ask me after the first earthquake, because that's wherever everything's going to really change for me. But really and truly, I think we'll probably end up being bi-coastal from here. So we'll have a lease here and then jump to New York whenever we need to or whatever.
Just because there's so much more space. I mean, the apartment we're in now, we're paying the same amount as we did in New York, but it's like double the space.
That sounds so nice, because like I think of my New York apartment and I'm like, it's literally a matchbox. Like, I'm just like spend so much money to live like in a twin bed. Like, what is
Yep.
this?
When New York's New York, it's worth it because it's an amazing city. But when it's not, like right, there's nothing. It's like, why are we breaking our backs to like be here when like we're not getting the fun parts of New York?
Yeah, it's New York is definitely one of those cities you pay for the experience of, and whenever you take away the experience, you're just left with overpriced everything. So it's kind of like, okay, let's change this.
But we still love it. I still love New York.
I love New York. I just needed to go back to what it was.
Right. No, I think that's perfect because that's what I think about. Like, I don't mind paying a lot of rent, but let me go on the subway, let me go to concerts and movies and meet with friends. And when you take all that away, you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah, literally. And I think everyone has to go through that. I mean, like, we toughed it out through the whole quarantine. We stayed there the whole time, and we're like, we're going to stay, boom, boom. And then now it's about to happen again, and we're like, yeah, we can't stay. just like, yeah.
And the waves and how many waves of it, and when are we all going to get the vaccine? It's like, we're waiting and waiting. And
warmer weather.
I think you guys made a great decision because weather and warmth and space and strong Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
Strong Wi-Fi.
And nature. And
like, normally you probably wouldn't be able to see our faces because at our old place, it was so grainy and it would cut out every 4 seconds. It was terrible. Terrible. So, like, you can see us, we can see you. It's all good. Yay.
It's a good thing we waited till after you moved to LA because we weren't talking a few weeks ago.
November, and it's like, you know what, we're about to move to LA, let's just do it when we move.
Yeah. And thank
God. Good decision.
So how would you guys describe the music that you create?
Oh no.
This question.
Honestly, this EP was really for us more.
I know.
The guys out there. They're like, do not approve. I know. Look, we were talking, our interview with them just came out. We were all New York, and then now we're in LA. But yeah, no, this EP, I think our music is genre-less, but it has a theme. And at least for the EP especially, every song dealt with a certain kind of love. And for us, like, it's very important for us to be gay at the beginning of our career, where there's a lot of artists right now who love that they're coming out and finally being out and proud, but I wish they were out like at the beginning. And so for us, like, I can't pinpoint a genre for us.
Genre is really hard. Definitely big sound. I feel like we're like, through our EP, we sort of saw what works, and I feel like what works is like the fun, but like a pop alternative, but a little bit of an edge. So sort of like, I don't know, we're trying to be like the new, I don't know, Hot Shell Ray, Panic at the Disco. Pink.
Honestly, like, we've been talking about this like this whole time. Is like, okay, so this EP was like covered literally every genre you could possibly imagine. Yeah. So, like, which one are we going to hone in on? Because we can't just be all over, unfortunately. Like, you could, but that means it would be harder to get a label and blah, 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 blah. So we both, like, really think our music will follow the format of, like, Pink's music. As in, like, she doesn't really have one genre. She has more of a sound and then floats within different areas through that.
But I feel like it's always pop, but with like a little bit more of an edge than some of the other pop people. Like, there's usually like a bit of electric guitar. There's a bit more like of that grit to it. But I'm excited. I feel like our sound's gonna change a lot moving to LA. I feel like we're gonna like bring a little bit of that New York edge and hopefully our sound will have that like LA glossy, you know.
Yeah, I think we both think that our music will go a little bit more in the pop direction. So if you're looking at our songs that are already out, I'm thinking we're going to be more towards Party for Two and No Prince Charming vibes. Like, just fun, like, bop anthems. Just like, that's kind of where we have the most fun with. Yeah, I think that's also where people like love Fab the most, is just whenever we're the fun gays.
And I think in terms of image too, people love the like big, bright colors. And I mean, the
Oh,
heels are never going away. We always wear heels.
always.
I think it's more of like empowerment and positivity and love yourself, and whatever it sounds like is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like how Lizzo kind of, I feel like she, like her last album, she did everything, but like the message was always just like self-love, empowerment. And like, even though the songs had a range from R&B to rap to like all pop, I feel like the message was always like the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your creative process like?
I think it depends on the song, but if it's a song that Brendan is coming up with, or sorry, if Brendan has already had, what normally happens is he comes to me with the song and he's like, I think this song would be great. And he plays it and I go, yes or no. And then, or I'll be like, I like the lyrics, but let's change the chords. Let's change it up. Let's do this. Or, I don't like the lyrics, but I like the melody, so let's change that. And we go from there. And then it just kind of snowballs into a song. And
I often get a song idea at the like most random places. I'll be like on a run or taking a shower or on the subway, and then suddenly I'll get something, and then I have to like quickly like put it in my voice notes, and then I'll run home and be like, okay, Greg, I'll put it on
he'll
guitar.
be like, shut up, Greg,
like, stop.
I need to write this down.
I'll like play it on guitar, and then we'll work from there. Sometimes we'll try just sitting down and writing something. We've had some success and we've had a lot of failure.
But
I know we have to do more of that. It comes in waves too. Like beginning of quarantine, we had this like crazy creative spurt, and we literally wrote an entire musical in like a week. We were just like, we have all this time, let's just write this musical. And then like for like 3 months after, we were like burnt out and just sick of quarantine, and we like didn't do anything. So definitely goes in waves. I wish there was a perfect formula to writing a song, and if anyone has it, please let me know.
But you're right, it comes in ebbs and flows, because sometimes it might come to you like when you're in the shower or on a walk, or maybe like you're eating something for dinner and you know you hear somebody say something and you're like, oh yeah, that would work.
Exactly. But yeah, most of the time Brendan is the main songwriter, although there are a few exceptions. And then I am the arranger. I come in and like make it more fun and lively because he just strums. It's like, I'm like, yeah, that's good for what you used to do, which is like,
I mean, I used to just do the like play all the open mic coffee shops, do the little Ed Sheeran thing with my guitar.
But now we're like, you know, pushing the envelope, and like our newer songs that we've been writing are very much more. They're more complicated for him, especially since he's the guitarist. But they're also more complicated vocally. I mean, we're pushing ourselves with new harmonies and new ways of doing our Fab sound. But I think when it all comes to be, I think people are gonna really like it, and I hope so. And I think they're gonna see a much more polished and more put together Fab. That's the first EP was just us like this song, this song, this song, this song, and throw it all together.
It's just seeing what works.
Yeah.
Really.
Very cool. So when can we expect new music?
I don't know yet. We
have
2020. We're hoping summer 2020. Sorry, 2021. No more. No, it's 2020 part 2. But yeah, we're hoping in the summer, as long as all the things that happen here happens. We already have the song that we want to release. We just need to record it and produce it and do all that.
We have some things in the works, but we're trying to really take our time and find like the absolute right person and really, really do it right. And we might release a few other little fun things in between.
Very cool. We'll definitely stay tuned, because you never know what's coming out and when songs are going to be released. And definitely stay tuned if you don't already follow Fab the Duo. So who would you guys say you admire as far as musicians? You said Pink earlier. Who else?
Pink.
Love Pink.
Pink is my favorite artist, and a lot of people are shocked by that. Like my top 3 artists in this order is Pink, Lady Gaga, and then Beyonce. reason why Beyonce is the third is just because she's not as relatable as the other two.
Yeah.
At least for me. I think that's also part of her brand. I mean, Beyonce's brand is perfection. But Pink for me, I was a rebellious kid. I was bullied. And she's always been the anthem for the bullied, for the other rebellious people. And her music doesn't follow what people what people want from her. She does what she wants. Those are always my favorite artists. The artists that you can tell is they're always doing their own thing. Like, shout out to Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I was just thinking Miley Cyrus. Her new album was amazing. Like, she's so cool.
And those are the artists I mostly respect.
Definitely love Lady Gaga. I love how like weird and out there she is, but like also can write from the heart. And she's done so many different things too. She's done a country album, a jazz album, a dance album. Like, she's done it all. Same with Miley Cyrus. They've done it all. Love Lizzo and just her like positive message. And then, you know, I love some classics. Like, I take a lot of inspiration from like Elton John, both his like singer-songwriter style and his fashion and vibe. And I think Queen, you know, just that big, extra, in-your-face, theatrical, like everything. Honestly, a lot of the artists we love, like most of the best artists do have an element of being theatrical. And I think people like it, but people just like people just use that. We've been told a lot that we sound too theatrical, and I feel like people are afraid of it and just sort of use it as an insult. But like so many of the best artists are so theatrical.
When I think of like Pink or Lady Gaga or Elton John, like I think of those people and they just like, they put on a show. Like Cutter, Beyonce. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we love putting on a show. Like,
we have
once we can.
Yeah.
Oh
like
my God, that's what we love.
That is the thing, is like, as an artist, especially, like, I love Billie Eilish. I love what she does, but I've seen some of clips from her shows, and I'm like, you know, that's cool, but you're relying so much on the technical aspect and visuals that I personally would rather you be someone like Pink, in which you have the visuals, but you also have the freaking, you know, flying around the whole stadium and singing and dancing and all these theatrical elements. Like, I love a full production. Like, that's why we've always said, like, Fab needs all the money in the world. Because,
we'd love eventually to do like a Vegas residency with all the stuff.
Everything, glitter cannons, you name it. Like, we're like all these things. Like, that's, to me, that's what makes the music worth it, is like getting to perform it, getting to do it live,
and sharing it with like people in person, because nothing compares to that.
And the energy that you see on the faces, people singing along, you're like, they're singing my song.
So different. It's so like, I mean, we've done a lot of live streams and I'm like very thankful for having the technology, but it's definitely different, like playing it and then just like it's just like yay.
Because you're like sitting in your apartment, you're like, okay, sure.
Cool, we're moving on. Thank you so much. No, you have no idea if they're actually paying attention or there's still 0 people watching. It just is what it is.
So what are your favorite songs to perform?
Ooh.
Like ours or covers or all of the above?
All of the above, I would say. Oh my God, I feel like I haven't performed in so long. I have to like think back.
I mean, in terms of covers, we have a few covers. We like taking a song and like completely changing it. We do like an acoustic version of Truth Hurts. We do power ballad version of So What by Pink and like slow it down. It's super fun to take songs people know and completely change it.
And in terms of the originals, I think my favorite song to perform, and it's because of the reaction we get all the time, is by far Our Love Is Resistance. It's one of the only songs of ours that we get the consistent same reaction of. And most of the time, whenever we perform that song, there's always a few people that have never heard it before. And so it's really special to watch them hear it. And like the way people absorb that song and like feel it. I just like, I miss seeing
people
it.
Always mention that song. Like always whenever we ask favors, they say that.
Yeah.
I think American Icon too. People, it's like our baby. It's our first single we ever came out with. It's often our encore song. There's just so much energy, and people always love.
And honestly, the other one that's so much fun is No Prince Charming. I think people love that song because of its like anthemic, like I don't need anyone else but me.
And no one expects us to rap. It's always entertaining.
Yeah. So yeah, it's you know, honestly, it's hard to pick favorites, but those are our favorites.
So when you were living in New York City, you performed at the Cutting Room, the Stonewall Inn, the Bitter End. What are your favorite venues to perform at?
One that you haven't mentioned that we love is the Bowery Electric.
Oh, yeah.
Great venue. One of our favorite, possibly my favorite show of all time is we did a pop punk show at the Bowery Electric. We called it Fab Sings Pop Punk. And it was like, literally we just sang 20 different pop punk songs and had a bunch of friends and guest artists perform with us, and like the energy was just so fun. And the venue is just so nice too. Like we know the bookers there, and like we had a residency and played a few times. They're always so nice, and they made a drink for us called the Fab. So I love that venue a lot. The Cutting Room in terms of just like it feels so epic. It's such a beautiful, amazing space.
I think that was our biggest space we've ever
It is. And
yeah.
We were supposed to have a show at the Cutting Room. Literally, our EP originally was going to come drop April 3rd, 2020.
Yeah.
And we had like a show planned at the Cutting Room, I think on the 5th. And obviously things didn't turn out that way.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like we like are owed a Cutting Room show. Like when things are open, we are like going back to the Cutting Room show because we're like, we gotta play there still.
Yeah.
Definitely. As far as LA venues, which venues would you like to play at?
Ooh, I definitely want to play at the Troubadour. That's a goal of ours. Our hope is that when we have our album out, and we have an album, is that we do our release show at the Troubadour.
Troubadour, Whiskey A Go Go. I know Hotel Cafe is like a popular one. We have played one show in LA. We went on a little tour last year. We played at this really cool spot called Kulak's Woodshed. Really nifty, like sort of hole in the wall venue, but they also live stream it, and it's really good quality.
They are incredible. And then you walk away with like professional grade audio that was live from the show. So it's like really nice.
So I feel like we'll have to play there again, especially because like, you know, you can still get a good live stream at that venue. And we've tried doing some like hybrid, like inviting a few people. Like 10 people sitting socially distanced wearing masks and then live streaming the rest, and it actually went
went really well. And I was shocked. Like I was like, oh, okay. Like, and it was nice to that was the most recent show we did, and it was nice to like have some type of audience, even a small one, and like in front of us, and then the rest were on a computer on Zoom, and it was angled in a way that the Zoom people didn't feel like they were behind anyone. They were right there, and then behind them. And it was a really cool experience to have people clapping, and I also helped for the Zoom people to be like
actual venue,
you know,
like even just playing in a venue, even if it's live, like we were dressed up in a venue. It's so different than like sitting in your living room. Like, so that was cool.
Yeah, because you actually leave your house and like you wear specific clothes, like you're not in just sweatpants.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like it's hard to, even if you do dress up, even if you do the whole 9 yards, like you're still at your apartment. You don't feel like you are like you don't feel like you're performing because you're at your house, and it's not as glamorous. Let's be honest, it's just not like.
And plus, like, people like to go to places, like your favorite restaurant, like your favorite music venue, like your favorite diner. Like, I think of these places, I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to go to these places all the time. And now I'm like sad that I can't experience
around other people. That's like half the fun of going to concerts, is just like being in a room with all these people and sharing it together and enjoying it. And
one of the coolest things we did have while we were in New York, and this is something that only can happen in New York. We were tired of playing inside, and so we played outside for the first time. And it was summer.
Yeah, we like had a live stream in our backyard. We were super lucky to have even like a little backyard in New York.
Yeah, and suddenly at a few moments we finished a song and there was clapping, and it turns out people had come out of their apartments and were sitting on their like fire escapes and hanging out their window, and we had people block and then like on the other side of the street like hanging out, like clapping and
shouting requests, and even a couple people like took out their ukulele and guitar and
played with us, and it was just so gorgeous. And some people were like, wow, this is the first time I've heard live music in like 4 months, and they were like, I forgot how much I missed it. Like, it was just like,
you take it for granted.
So
you guys were so lucky to have a backyard space. Nobody in New York has a backyard.
So like the one thing that like got us through quarantine is we had at least a little backyard. We can at least sit outside, because I couldn't imagine not having that.
No.
I can't even imagine like hearing music from my window and then being like, oh my gosh, look, my neighbor's downstairs. Like, that's cool.
Cool.
That was cool probably one of my favorite experiences of performing in general. So yeah.
Can you tell us what it's like working as a couple in the music industry?
It's something that I feel like a lot of people could not do. Light's about to fall. As in like, stay.
Oh my God.
I don't think the light would be able to do it.
No.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things that if it works, and you don't really understand why it works, but you're also, oh my God,
We're like, it's
okay, it's good.
Don't breathe in that.
But yeah, like it's one of those things that I feel like works really well if it does, or it does not work at all. You know, you have people who do it and they still have done it and they still working together. And then you have people who literally are like, please don't step anywhere near my career. I think for us, it's very lucky that we like each other and like working with each other. And I think the hardest part of it is just something that I feel like either happens or it doesn't, and it's separating your relationship from the work. And I feel like you can do that, you can do it. But I feel like a lot of people, like I know, like there are times where we're on stage and people like it and all that, but like we don't mean to. You know, we bicker like a couple, like it just is, and we'll be on stage and like we'll eat it up. But like
I think we also work so well is because we're so different, and like because you don't think we should work well. Like our voices are so different, like our attitudes, personalities, everything we're almost opposite, or like yin and yang. And I think because of that, we actually work pretty well. And like what I'm good at, Greg's not, and what Greg's good at, I'm not. So like together we kind of, make this whole team. Yeah.
It's one of the things that's really hard to describe, because it's something that you don't want to like screw up. It's literally our lifeblood. Like it's literally, we have so much fun working together. And I think that
it's fun. We vibe creatively. Even before we were in a band, like when we met each other at like, we went to some open mics and we like always had a similar taste in music and just like, helped each other write stories or songs and just like, had fun vibing creatively.
I it's a very special thing, and I'm so blessed and feel so lucky to be able to have him and have it. And I know that a lot of couples wish they could have that, and I hope that they could. But
we take seriously that we're one of the very first gay couples, especially an interracial gay couple, to like be in the music industry whatsoever. So like we're starting with like no one to look ahead to. We're sort of forging our own path. So
we're totally trailblazing every day. Everything we do, every song we release is part of our history and part of music industry history, because there's not a single person who's doing what we do, and there's not a single duo that is able to do what we're doing as of right now. And we don't take that lightly, because we know like how important a band like us would have been back in the day.
Growing up, seeing like a gay couple perform music together, oh my God, that would have like...
And like you don't see a lot of happy gay couples in or TVs or anything like that. You just, you know, and especially not like positively, like just almost boring, normal gay couples. Like it's, you know,
I don't know if we're boring.
We're boring whenever we're not on stage. That's what I like to say.
Definitely elevate ourselves on stage.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But
yeah, like I could not, like, now I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I was a solo artist for so long. Like, ew, how hard.
It's so much more fun performing live with someone that you like trust and have fun with. Like, you know, you don't have to deal with that stage fright and nervousness alone. Like, you're always on the same boat. You can vibe off each other. You can like look at each other instead of the audience. It makes it more fun. I think playing music with another person is always more fun than playing solo, because I tried doing the solo artist for a long time, and like it was fun, but sometimes it just sort of felt like I'm just like doing this thing by myself all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
Able to share the love together because you like look over to your left or right and like there he is.
And like it's so nice to like have a good show. Like New Year's Eve this year, we played at the Bitter End, and it was by far our most packed show.
Did we know it was the
Bitter End. But yeah, like I think there was over 200 people there, which is crazy to think of now. But like, yeah, like it was a very packed show, and it was just so cool to look over, and we're just like both like having the time of our lives, and we get to share that immediately together instead of coming home and be like, guess what? Like, you know, it's really nice to have those moments.
Definitely. So do you have any advice for people who are in relationship or couples? Like, what holds you guys together? Like, what makes you so strong and, you know, positive and motivating? Like, can you share some of your insight?
I mean, first of all, if you vibe creatively, go for it, but you don't feel like you have to.
Don't force
it, because nothing's more uncomfortable than like seeing a couple try to force doing something together and it not working.
Yeah,
and,
we've
like,
seen a few of those.
So definitely don't force anything. I mean, really just be yourself, especially like us, you know, we try not to just like, we try to literally just show people who we are and not be like, we're this couple. We're not trying to like be some perfect couple. Like, we're very upfront, like we'll bicker, we'll be competitive with each other, this and that.
Yeah.
In terms of other couples,
personally, I would say the most important thing, and this is something that we do, we just have fun with each other. We just have fun. We don't take anything too seriously. We keep it very lighthearted on and off stage. It's just like, honestly, on stage is not really much different. It's just now we're performing. That's the only difference. And we have an audience. But other than that, like, I think that if you can laugh with them, that's really the most important thing. Can you laugh? And can you, when things are awkward or tough or anything, can you look over to them and like be like, okay, they got me, or whatever, you know?
We've been through like a lot together, from a pandemic to like weird stuff. Like last year we were on our way to a meeting and we were on those, you know, those Rebels in New York? They're like the Uber motorcycle things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like,
we were like
rent
sort
them
of
out,
late to a meeting, and we were driving over, and then there was like a pothole, and we fell over.
We ended up crashing on a Rebel.
What?
You're on our way to a meeting.
I
with
broke
a
my
freaking
finger.
Yeah, you like fractured your pinky.
Greg had this like
I had this huge gash and everything. And you know what? We still showed up at that meeting. We were on time. We walked in and we were like, hi, so great to be here.
Could we see a first aid kit first, and then we'll continue our meeting?
And yeah, so we are not proponents of the Rebels.
But I mean, we literally drove from New York to Los Angeles with us, our fully packed car, and our dog in 4 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've sort of just been through it all. I feel like now, like after being in quarantine, a pandemic, and going through the ins and outs of the music industry, and having all the highs and lows, and having, you know, managers that didn't work out, and people we had to fire, and like all this drama and up and downs, and, you know, I feel like if we can go through all that, whatever, I'm ready. We can go through anything.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
driving from New York to LA in 4 days. Like, what?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
amazing. I'm sure that there was a lot of creative discussions and songs that came out of that trip.
No.
No?
A lot of music, a lot of pop punk, a lot of we just listened to a bunch of songs.
It was just us being goofy in a car, trapped in a car for hours on hours, and our dog getting more and more tired with us of being in a car every day. Honestly, I think maybe eventually a song will come out of it, but it hasn't come out yet.
Good practice for tour, because like ever go on tour, it'll be like that for weeks on end. So
yeah.
Very cool. So that's all the questions that I have for you guys, but this is the point of the show where you guys are going to perform for us. So take it away.
Amazing.
All right, I got my guitar. Let's see, can you? Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, and we're gonna be performing 2 brand new songs that are not released. Yeah, they're a little
more of chill acoustic side.
Yeah, because we still don't know our neighbors yet, and so we're like, we can't belt yet.
All right, the song's called Somewhere in Delaware.
Somewhere in Delaware,
somewhere in Delaware, there's a beachside town that I would go to when I was feeling overwhelmed. We party all night and sleep all day to chase our feelings away. It worked out right up till now. Somewhere in Delaware, I lost part of my youth that I can get back. Somewhere in Delaware, I'm dancing like nobody's watching. Nobody cares in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware, we were a rowdy crowd, playing the same songs on repeat. I tried to please everyone, giving them a different piece of me, till I couldn't recognize person staring back at me. It worked out right up to now. Somewhere in Delaware, I lost part of my youth that I can get back. Somewhere in Delaware, I'm dancing like nobody's watching and nobody cares in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware, I lost some part of my youth that I can get back. Somewhere in Delaware, I'm dancing like nobody's watching, like nobody cares in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware. Somewhere in Delaware.
Oh.
Thank you.
And I guess we have one more song we
Yeah.
can do. Another soft, chill song, also very new. Haven't played it for really anyone
Not much,
yet.
yeah.
It's called The Best Part.
The best part, yeah. And fun fact, this is the first real love song we've ever written. Like, I would consider it. And we were both we both didn't know what to do. Like, it was, I don't know why, but it's very intimidating to write a song, like a love song with the person you love. Like, it's very hard. So, fun fact, we actually came up with the idea to write it about a dog before we got our dog.
Now we have it.
And just use it like that, and then put our, pronouns and everything in it. So it kind of worked out, but it's kind of a cool behind the
Give away
scenes.
all our secrets, Greg.
Oh, but I did.
We're trying to be mysterious. Oops.
I heard you're scared of love. I know you don't want to be abandoned. I'm trying not to rush. You know I'll be there when you're ready for affection. Give me some direction, I'll follow your lead. Maybe I'm a little bit confused. Maybe you're afraid of being used. But baby, you're the one I need. Don't you know the best part of me is you? The best part, the best part, the best part of me is you. The best part, the best part, the best part of me is you. Can't seem to catch a break. You've been pushed around in many directions. We can start a new page. Fill it out with some love and affection. Give me some direction, I'll follow your lead. Maybe I'm a little bit confused. Maybe you're afraid of being used. But baby, you're the one I need. Don't you know the best part of me is you? How can one person make me feel so much? It's like a heart can break at the slightest touch. Baby, you mean everything to me. Don't you know the best part of me is you? There's no limit to how long I'll wait for you. And I hope that you'll wait for me too. Maybe I'm a little bit confused. Maybe you're afraid of being used. But baby, you're the one I need. Don't you know the best part of me is you? How can one person make me feel so much? It's like my heart could break at the slightest touch. Baby, you mean everything to me. Don't you know the best part of me is you? Best part, the best part of me is you. The best part, the best part of me is you.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful song. Thank you guys. That was amazing. So if anybody has questions for Fab the Duo, please feel free to put them in the chat because we have a couple minutes left and then we're going to wrap it up.
Ask us literally anything. Thanks everyone for staying. And
Seriously.
if you don't follow us yet, please do.
Please
it's
do.
at Fab the Duo on
Every single
literally anything,
platform.
everything. We have music on all the streaming platforms and YouTube and yada yada yada.
Mhm.
And we have some cute merch too. So if you're looking for some Fab swag,
Yes,
go
Fab
to our
Swag.
website and get some merch.
Yes.
That's real cute.
Check them out. What's your next song going to be about?
You know, I'm trying to say it without like giving too much away, but just
It's a quarantine song.
Yeah, it's about like something to like get you through quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needing something to get you through quarantine.
Do you want to collaborate with anyone in LA? Yes.
Yes.
So many people. We're trying to get in. There's this like little cute group of like really amazing queer artists like Vincent and Parson James and Betty Who and the guys from Pentatonics, and we want to like sort of slide into that group.
Yeah, I think that the main person I would love to collaborate, he's someone I've been like obsessed with since I first discovered him several years ago, and he just followed us, which is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, so his name is Parson James, and I hope that somewhere down the line we end up collabing with him.
And I think we might collab with do some stuff with some drag queens. We already did a live thing with Honey Davenport. Our all-time favorite drag queen ever, Willem, follows us, which is crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, we love
Willem at some point. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people in LA that we want to work with, and so many songwriters and so many producers. Like, I'm so excited. The second we're allowed to meet people, like, we're gonna be. Wait, I'm looking at something about, are you gonna add any instruments to our duo? So we're always gonna be a duo. It's always like, we're always gonna be Fab the Duo. Yeah. But, you know, we've had shows with a band. We might go more into the backing tracks at some point, maybe get some backup dancers, but we'll have bands and
the big Fab sound is not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, those still, our ideal is like the full shebang with the guitars and the horns. We like having 3-piece horns. Yeah. The backup dancers, all that. Yeah. But the main people.
We're here. Yeah.
And I saw someone that on
someone's like, what about Jordy?
We love Jordy.
We would love to work with Jordy. I'm so happy that you know of him.
Yeah, Jordy's one of our like faves actually. Yeah. He's a great queer artist. And he's so fun and poppy, and in LA we'd love to work with Jordy. Let's see, met on Tinder. Anything else?
Where do you guys see your career in 5 years?
Hopefully, we're really hoping that by then we'll be in the mainstream music scene. We're really hoping, if possible, we could be up for some kind of award. We really
Grammy or something.
Yeah, like honestly, like it would be really nice to get the official title of the first gay couple.
To win a Grammy or be
nominated, win, whatever it is. And that's like, that would be the biggest honor for us.
Just being part of LGBT history. At the very least, I hope we can at least, you know, just be able to do this completely full time and not have to, you know, we've had to do the New York hustle, working side jobs in restaurants and catering and hospital, like all this other stuff. So, you know, everyone does that, but I'm, you know, really just, if we could just do this as a full-on career, like, and be comfortable, that would be ideal. And then all the other stuff, awards, all that stuff, that would be the cherry on top.
Yeah, because you guys are such trailblazers. Like, you're a couple, you're an interracial couple, you're a gay couple, you're positivity, empowerment, all these wonderful things, lots of firsts on your end. So it's like, now somebody else needs to find out about you.
Exactly. The world needs
Which is why it's so helpful whenever people like you want to interview us.
Yes, thank you.
Seriously,
so thank
you.
We couldn't do it without.
I love interviewing amazing musicians, and Greg, you know Colette, so I was like, oh my gosh, Colette, I have to have them on my show, and you guys are absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for this next chapter where you guys are going to be taking over LA, and hopefully you'll get back to normal soon, and you guys can, you know, play the Troubadour and Hotel Cafe and all those incredible monumental LA venues, and then work with the people that you guys mentioned.
Yeah, thank you. We hope so, and you know, I hope that everyone who's here right now could give us a follow and follow us on our crazy LA adventure and see where it all takes us.
Yeah. Thanks so much for.
If you don't already, please make sure to follow Fab the Duo. Tell people where on all social media channels where they can find Fab the Duo.
Yeah, so everything is super easy. Everything is at Fab the Duo, FABTHEDUO. And
we're on all socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, even TikTok. We're trying to get better at that.
We don't know.
Our music, all streaming platforms, so Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora.
We're the only one, so you'll find us.
And our website website is fabtheduo.com. Super easy. So just anything Fab the Duo.
If you just go to Google and type in Fab the Duo, you can't miss us. We're there.
They're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday evening with us. Like I said, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Fab the Duo. If you don't already, please follow me. I'm Ashley Live, and I interview incredible musicians just like Fab the Duo from places all over the country. So thank you guys so much for spending your evening with us. Any final words on your end?
Be you.
Be proud.
And
And
be
be
loud.
loud. Woo! And happy holidays.
And happy holidays to everyone.
Yes, happy holidays to you guys as well. Please continue to stay safe, and we look forward to all the new music you're going to be releasing.
Talk soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Bye. Thank y'all. Bye.